Hello, welcome to the Live Proud movement. I'm going to be your host. My name is Dr. Kelly Clark, and I will just share a brief bit about myself before I get started with the presentation. I'm actually a higher education doctor, not a medical doctor. My area of expertise is actually in homophobia and masculinity. Now, in 2014, I saw the information that I'm going to share with you today, and I decided to align myself with this company because of our shared social justice mission. So for the last 7 years, I've been running my business with Legal Shield part-time. Well, this year, May of 2021, I joined the Great Resignation with millions of other Americans walking away from my job. And now my wife and I are running this business full-time. We started the Live Proud movement specifically because we understood how important legal access is to our communities. We wanted to educate LGBTQIA plus people on how the Legal Shield membership can help support us living 100% full out loud, out proud lives. Now we know that the average American has between 4 and 6 legal issues pop up each year. So maybe you've actually had one of these things happen to you within the last 12 months. Maybe you have had a repair person who wouldn't stand behind the quality of their work, or maybe you're the child in the family who's been designated to care for your elderly parents, or maybe like millions and millions of Americans over the last 18 months, you've wanted to have your will updated. These are all reasons why average Americans access legal services. But we also know all too well that LGBTQIA plus people just tend to have more legal issues and more legal needs. And we know that because we can just look at a headline on any given day. These 3 headlines are all from within 1 week in October of 2021. But not all issues that happen within LGBTQIA plus lives are negative. Sometimes we have positive legal issues like wanting to start a family. If you're going to be using adoption, surrogacy, or even in vitro, there's a legal need attached to that. Or maybe you're a person who wants to simply affirm who you are by having a legal name change, right? Again, we have lots and lots of additional reasons why folks in LGBTQIA plus communities are seeking legal assistance. So let me share with you the story of Legal Shield. We are a company that is just about 50 years old, so we're not fly by night at all. We are already protecting over 4 million folks in both the US and in Canada. We have the largest network of Spanish language attorneys in the country, and this is our vision: to build a better world where access to justice and security is equal for every human, regardless of gender, race, orientation, education, social status, or personal wealth. That was the vision that I could get behind. We also have third-party validation. These publications send their reporters out to do the research, and they all have excellent things to say about our company. We also have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. So the company uses a concept called disruptive innovation, something that you're already familiar with. Think about companies like Amazon, Spotify, even Netflix, right? They've changed the way we go about accessing goods and services. They have an app with a subscription service, and it's made it simpler, easier, and more affordable for average people to do things that we're going to do anyway, like shop, listen to music, and watch movies. So Legal Shield asked, what about access to the justice system? We added an app to our already existing membership service, and we now have simpler, easier, and more affordable access to legal services. And what I like to say is anytime you have access to your phone, you have access to your firm. So what is included in our membership? Well, you are going to feel much more confident in being able to make life's decisions because of our personal legal advice. You can call up every day of the week and ask a different question on an unlimited number of personal issues. So if you've ever said, hey, can they do that, right? Can they actually suspend a student for having long hair, right? Can they not bake a cake for our wedding? You wanted to get a qualified legal answer to that so you could check in with your rights. You have an opportunity now with Legal Shield to call into the law firm to get an answer. We have contracts and documents that can be reviewed for you up to 15 pages. I know that there are folks in our community spending thousands of dollars on legal services just to create a family. So if you're needing to have a document reviewed for surrogacy or for in vitro, right? You now don't have to pay for that legal service. You can have one of the Legal Shield law firms review that information for you up to 15 pages at no additional cost. And if you've ever asked that question, hey, can they do that to me? If the law firm says, hey, you know what, in our state, they actually can't, that's against the law. You can have a letter or a phone call written from the law firm to those vendors saying, hey, wanted to let you know, you actually cannot do this to our clients in this state. Legal Shield membership offers you family and domestic services, uncontested divorce, uncontested adoption, uncontested separation, and uncontested name change. Now, I know there are lots of folks who will use a free legal clinic to have their name change done, but there are many more people who do not qualify for free legal clinics and still don't have the $400 to $600 it's going to take to have an attorney help you with a name change. Again, with Legal Shield membership in most states across the country, that is going to be a free portion of the benefit. Second parent adoption is big in our families. That will also be a free portion of the benefit. And this portion of our benefits kicks in after a short 90-day wait. We also have a suite of life events services. One of the most important is having your will, your healthcare power of attorney, your living will, and your financial power of attorney completed for you. In most states, you're going to find that that's going to be about a $1,200 bill for a typical law firm. With our law firms, this is included in the price of your memberships. You're going to have all 4 documents completed for yourself, your spouse, and quite frankly, all of the adult children who are covered under this membership for 0 cost to you. This is huge. Did you realize that our Stonewall generation is twice as likely to be single? They are 4 times less likely to have any adult children who can participate in their care. And so those LGBTQIA plus folks who are 70 and over are typically making end-of-life decisions and plans with their families of choice, those people that they've built around them. The problem is those folks do not have any legal capacity to carry out any of their wishes. So having the will, the living will, the healthcare power of attorney, and the financial power of attorney in place gives them the legal ability to actually act on behalf of their friends. We have traffic ticket assistance for moving violations. I like this because anytime you go into a court of law, even if it's just traffic court, you're going to do better when you have legal support, right? Whether that's our attorneys giving you advice on what to say and what to bring into court, or perhaps even having our attorneys go to court on your behalf. I know this is big because I once accompanied a trans woman to court with one of the jobs that I had. And I proceeded to watch the court laugh at her. Not the people back in the gallery with me, but the folks who were the bailiff, right? The court stenographer, because to them, she appeared a man in a dress. How horrifying it was to think that you could get actual justice. Justice is supposed to be blind when people in the court find you to be a laughing matter. So having an attorney, even if it's just for traffic court, to go to court on your behalf and you don't even have to show up, could be just such a weight off of so many people's shoulders in our community. We have civil trial defense for covered situations. If you should be named as a plaintiff in a lawsuit, somebody decides to sue you, you now have a defense And we have bankable hours, 60 hours the first year, 120 hours the second year of your membership, all the way up to 300 hours of usable attorney time to defend you against a lawsuit. We have tax audit assistance should you need to have information or even representation during an audit. And then things that I haven't talked about yet, those big once in a lifetime things like filing a bankruptcy. Maybe you have a contested adoption or a contested divorce, or even a criminal matter like a DUI, where you're going to have to hire an attorney anyway. You're going to get that with our 25% member discount. Now, this 24/7 emergency protection is actually the reason I decided to become a Legal Shield associate. I saw this presentation and I thought, I need the membership. It makes sense for myself and my family. But when I heard about the 24-hour, 7-day-a-week emergency protection, I thought, how can I get this into the hands of other people in my community? Now, what is a covered emergency? Well, if you've ever been stopped, arrested, questioned by law enforcement, that is an emergency situation where having your attorney on the phone to help you to answer any questions that are being asked of you is important. Another emergency might be having child protective services show up at your door. This happened to one of my students recently, where she had a little one who was going to daycare, who was identified as male at birth, but loved wearing his princess costumes to school. Somebody called and said, hey, this mom is making her son dress up like a girl. She spent 3 months in and out of psychologist offices and social work offices trying to prove that she was a good mom who was simply supporting the gender exploration of her 4-year-old, right? She was not a member of our service, but had she been, she would have had emergency access to her attorneys to help her walk through that situation. I actually have a short video that I'd like to share with you to show you how one of our members was actually able to use this service during a police stop.
I get pulled over, the police officer says, get out of the car. Well, I had Legal Shield and I had already dialed the number. As he was saying, get out of the car, I had the number up on my phone. And when he said, get out of the car, I hit the number and he's saying, ma'am, get out the car. And I'm going, sir, I mean, I wasn't speeding. I'm not sure what was going on. And he said, well, you were speeding. I said, okay, well, I didn't realize I was speeding. I'm not sure why you want me to get out of the car. The law firm comes on the phone and I say, I'm being asked to get out of my vehicle by a police officer. And I don't think that he believed that someone driving this car, an African-American person, had access to an attorney. And he says, hang up the phone. And my attorney says, is it your intent to question, arrest, or detain my client at 1 o'clock in the morning? And he said, what's going on? And then they had their dialogue back and forth. He goes back to his vehicle with my license. Lo and behold, I never got out of the car. I was able to come home and then get some representation that I did not have to pay for because it was covered. And once they got to the bottom of it, family, my car had been tagged as a drug trafficking vehicle because I was doing a pattern of driving to another state across state lines every Monday night, and I was doing it for a Legal Shield briefing. We don't know what's gonna make us the subject of a situation, but this is what I know. In this society, I never want my son to be in that situation.
Dr. Dawn's testimony is simply powerful. And I think it shares with us, particularly LGBTQ folks who may be just going about our business, but have a real fear of being pulled over and being asked to exit your vehicle when you don't understand anything about what the situation or circumstances might be. Having that access to support in the real moment at 1 o'clock in the morning made such a difference for her. I think about the folks in our community who are, maybe driving and their presentation doesn't match the information on their ID because they haven't had a chance to have legal changes done yet, and how scary it must be to be in that situation, to be able to talk to law enforcement about affirming who it is that you are. And so I absolutely love our services for the fact that you're going to be supported 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the morning. So who's covered? Well, the member spouse or significant other. You don't have to be married if you're living in the same household. Never married dependent children under the age of 26, as long as they're living at home or as long as they're enrolled in school. Now, remember I said we were in all 50 states. This means that you have a full service law firm in your state while your child is attending university someplace else across the country and has a full service law firm in that state as well. Dependent children under the age of 18 for whom you are the legal guardian, and physically and mentally disabled children living at home for the entire life of that child. All of this costs just $1 a day, $29.95 to gain the peace of mind that you are going to be able to have those average 4 to 6 things that pop up throughout the year for your family handled, and then all of the additional issues that come up in our lives handled as well. So I would like to suggest that living out loud and living out proud and thriving is the right of every LGBTQIA plus person in our society. I think that it would be great if you reached out and thanked the person who invited you to see this video because they thought enough about you to want to let you know that there is an additional tool for your empowerment toolkit that can help you do just that. I want to encourage you to go ahead and protect yourself and your family with these services. For just $1 a day, $30 is like the cost of pizza and wings and some soda for your family. Why wouldn't you protect everyone in your family with that emergency app on their phone? And then I want to ask you, we are looking for folks to join our team to help us get this information into the hands of more folks in our community across the country. Collaborate with a Legal Shield associate to educate folks in your community. That could look like hosting one of these live events to share with members of your community. It could look like sharing this video with other folks that you know in your community. And it could look like you joining the team to become an associate yourself, building your own business with Legal Shield and protecting folks in your community that way. If you're interested at all in collaborating with us, please get back to the person who invited you to watch this video and let them know that you'd like to jump on board the bandwagon of the Live Proud movement. And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching and wish you well. Bye-bye now.